Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lori and I spent the entire month of January decluttering my home, and now I am trying to organize it so that it works more efficiently for our needs in this season of life. I'm emptying out this upper cabinet and wiping it down because I'm going to transfer the food that's in the Lazy Susan up here. I was finding that a lot of our food was going bad before we were using it because it was getting shoved up underneath. We couldn't really see it. I'm not really a fan of Lazy Susans. I have yet to find anything that really works in that cupboard. But for now, I'm just going to move our food up to where it's eye level so we can see it, and hopefully this will lead to less food waste. My plan is to move all of the pots and pans over to the Lazy Susan because it makes sense for them to be over there next to the stove and oven. And then I'm going to move all of the things that were in the upper cabinet down to the lower cabinet. My thought process behind moving these things around was to not have so much food waste, so by putting the food at eye level I figured that would help. And then these pots and pans, I would have to get like on my hands and knees to get under there and reach the things on the shelf, and it was not really user friendly, and some of the pans, like frying pans, were kind of heavy. And so I figured that all of the stuff that was in the top cupboard, the lighter plastic and just as you can see here, like the baby bottle and sterilizer and all of that stuff was a lot lighter, and it would be easier to get out from under this lower cabinet. I also thought it would be a good place for these heavier glass, well, ceramic serving dishes that I don't use very often. And when I do, when they're up high, they're kind of heavy, and I'm always a little nervous pulling them off the top shelf. So I thought that this would maybe be a better place for those as well. That way I'm not having to climb in and out of this cupboard as much. And as you'll see, these bottles and sterilizer aren't going to stay here because I realize that Monday through Friday I'm going to be needing them and using them a lot. So I don't want to be getting in and out of this cupboard on a daily basis if I don't have to. You'll see that I end up moving these little Tupperware type dishes a lot because I can't seem to find a good place for them. And it's at this point that I'm realizing that my plan may not be working out as well as I thought it was going to, and I'm rethinking all of the stuff that I've already done up to this point, and I'm thinking that I need to come up with a plan B. So here I am moving the food over to one side so that I can move the bottles and the sterilizer and all of that up to the top here where I can get it easily because I will be using it a lot every day. This is how everything's looking at the end of the first day I was reorganizing, and I already don't like it. I already know a lot needs to change. For instance, this Lazy Susan, it's too heavy with all of the pots and pans on it, so it's hard to turn it, and also the handles of the strainer gets caught and it gets hung up, and it's just really not working out.
You better turn up. You better be there when I shake. Watch me rockin' if I can't stop. If I should fall, just go ahead. Go and catch me, baby.
It's a new day, and I thought really hard about how I wanted to change this kitchen around, and I used my word of the year, intentional, and I think it's going to serve me well.
Turn it up on a higher level. Turn it up, we got this.
Part of what I'm going to do is get rid of old mindsets, get rid of old thoughts and habits, such as thinking that my pots and my pans have to be together in the same cabinet, because they don't. Because I split them up, and guess what? It's working great for me.
Turn it up, we got you. Better join in. You better grab that tambourine. Bring a bass, we might be wicked.
These spices were another area of my kitchen that I was really stressing out about. I'd reach to get a spice from the back, and it would knock over the ones in the front, and even with the tiered shelf that I have in there, it really was not working well for me at all. So I got these Lazy Susan containers, which, hello, why didn't I do this a long time ago? And I put all my spices in there, and the ones that don't have what's inside on the cap that I can just look down and see, I put along the edge so that I can see through the container to the side of the container of spice, and I know exactly what's there, and it's actually working out so incredibly well.
We got this. Turn it up on a higher level. Turn it up, we got this.
Spoiler alert, this breakfast food I'm putting in this cabinet is the only food that's actually staying in the kitchen. Stick around, hit that subscribe button to see what I do with the rest of the food once I take it out of the cabinets. The other side of this cabinet that housed the breakfast food also houses contains the cooking oil, vinegars, cooking sprays, all of that type of stuff. And I'm just putting it here in between the two clear bins that I have in the Lazy Susan. I've been using it for a week or so now, and I'm telling you, it works like a charm. I am so excited at the change that I made here in the Lazy Susan. It's just working out so well for me.
We got this. We got this. We got this.
So when I was thinking about where I wanted things to go, I realized that this cabinet above the microwave is hard for me to reach, so it would be a perfect spot to put things that I don't reach for a lot. So I thought that I would put these serving dishes up here. I don't love pulling them down from up there, but I use them so rarely that it's actually a perfect place for them. I'm going to go ahead and try to put these to-go containers up here, and clearly they're not going to fit, but boy am I trying hard to get them to go in there.
I watch you as you drive. Do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite.
I'm going to go ahead and empty all the food out of this cabinet, put it on the table so I can make room for the things that I'm going to keep in here permanently.
Can't help but feeling, just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? I'm loving this moment. Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? Forever. Forever.
I'm going to go ahead and put the baking dishes, the glass baking dishes, and the big glass bowls here on this shelf because it's the perfect height to take out easily. I don't have to bend over and lift it up. I'm not pulling it down from way over my head. So it's working out really well to have them there. And I'm also dedicating one whole shelf for bottles, breast milk, freezer bags, sterilizer, all of that stuff because it gets used a lot. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stick my glass dishes. I don't allow my husband to use them, so that's why I call them mine, at the top of this cabinet as well.
Can we stay here together? If I could stop the time, don't you know that I would? 'Cause I'm just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever? Forever. Forever. Forever.
This little shelf is the perfect spot for my colander and my salad spinner. They're light, they don't weigh much, I can just bend over and easily pick them up. And then this bottom shelf works out perfectly for my frying pans. The largest one that I have here didn't even fit in the Lazy Susan, so therefore I wouldn't have even been able to keep it in there if I wanted to. So this is working out well to have my pans here in this cabinet and my pots over in the Lazy Susan. The reason why I say that these glass containers are mine and I don't let my husband use them is because he breaks them and then they aren't there for me to use and they're my favorite. So I put his to-go containers above the fridge up here. I'll show you here in a second. This is how everything ended up working out. I absolutely love it. Breakfast foods on the bottom shelf, bread on the top shelf so it doesn't get squished. And then up here I have my serving dishes, all of his to-go dishes because he can reach up here way easier than I can. And then down in the Lazy Susan, oh wait, sorry, I forgot. I'm showing you. I still have to clean these out, but this cupboard was working well already. That cupboard goes way into the right, and if I don't have the dishes there like that, like I've had food there before and it gets shoved in and it gets lost and it's just not good. So, but this cupboard here, mugs, to-go cups, coffee at the top shelf. The Lazy Susan has spices, oils, sprays, all of that, and pots in the bottom. And I love how I have this cabinet organized as well. Everything is really easy to get to and it's working out wonderfully. I took this clip a different day, that's why not all the stuff that was in there in the first clip is still there. In this cabinet also working out well. Everything has a lot of space around it, nothing's crowded. I really need to work on that drawer. Not really sure what I want to get for that, but these drawers also need a little bit of organizing. But that is for another video on another day because I also need to figure out what I want to do for organization under the sink. So stay tuned for that. That's coming soon. But as far as all the food goes and the dishes to cook the food and such, all of that is organized and I love how it looks. So thanks for being here. If you haven't yet, click that subscribe button and I will see you in the next one. Bye.